The next thing that we're going to talk about is our vocabulary and kind of our philosophy. So we'll talk about philosophy first. Anytime that we make a save or pick up a ground ball, our first priority is what we call quick strike. You can call it anything you like. You can call it fast break. You can call it let's get the ball out of here. You can over the top, or whatever it happens to be. But quick strike is the ability for your goalie to make a save or a defender to pick up a ground ball, to look upfield right away and get it going to streaking teammates who are heading up the field as well. So the first thing we'd like to do is what we call quick strike. The second part of live ball clearing is initially, if there is no quick strike opportunities, then what? Well, we teach our midfielders to come back to the ball, and we call that maverick. We call that maverick offense or maverick clearing, where we're going to break back to the ball, demand the ball, catch it, turn to the outside. And then number 3 is if we cannot quick strike and we cannot maverick and break back to the ball, what clear is appropriate for our opponent's ride? What pressure is our opponent giving us? So we have to read that as a coaching staff and hopefully as a team, and we want to read our opponent. And then after we read the opponent, we want to be able to react. So are they giving us pressure? And we'll say, are they giving us full field pressure? Are they giving us 3/4 field pressure? Are they giving us no pressure at all? And as a coaching staff, we want to be able to adjust, and we want to have an answer to whatever kind of pressure that we do see. If we see full field pressure, how are we going to clear the ball? If we see 3/4 field pressure, what are we going to do? If we see no pressure, how do we respond? But the fundamentals of the live clearing game have got to exist regardless of what what our opponent is doing. And so our fourth kind of developmental phase, if you would, in the clearing process is what are those common principles or common fundamentals that you'll hear us in practice over and over again preach. And so the first thing that we always look at in clearing the ball would be spacing. Very similar to 2 wide receivers in football running patterns. We don't want 2 people close to one another. We want to spread the field. We want to get as wide as we can to the field to make the opposing team run a longer distance, and obviously then create a much greater opportunity for success if we have proper spacing. That would be number 1. Number 2, kind of some really simple principles of ball handling is number 1, we want to be able to pass and catch. And we'll go over that and what's important about passing and catching that we're constantly going to harp on over the course of practice. And then number 3 is fundamental movements, for each space on the field, which is really specific to the space on the field, not the position. Because any players could end up in any space at any time. Do they know where to stand? Do they know what to do once they get to those spots? So we're just going to call that proper movement. We want to keep, like anything else, we want to keep the clearing game simple. We want to use simple vocabulary. We want to be able to refer it so that players understand it in a language that we're consistently speaking, and so they can talk to one another as well. And so players can make those adjustments on the fly. And goalies can talk to defensemen can talk to midfielders. They can talk to each other in a huddle or at halftime. And so anytime you need to make an adjustment or a correction, that it can easily be done.